The British government is currently trying to slander, discredit and defame my little brother.
They may lower standards for the women because
I'm being treated like a terrorist and a criminal.
Risking lives.
There is nothing I won't sacrifice for my family.
Will lead to be silenced, to
Welcome to Tactical Truths, the go-to series for military news, tactical analysis, and frontline stories that matter. Before we get started, I need your help. 73% of you who watch regularly haven't subscribed yet. If you like what we do, hit that subscribe button, it's free, and helps us make this show better for you every single week. I'm Phil Campion, former UK SAS, and this is Tactical Truths.
Imagine guarding Britain's nuclear weapons. Top tier, high trust, no margin for error. Now imagine asking if the military's losing its edge, and suddenly you're the enemy. That's what's just happened to a serving Royal Marine. He questioned whether diversity policies were lowering standards. He ran a survey, got 1,000 blokes backing him, and for that, just words, just questions, he got interrogated under the Terrorism Act. No lawyer, no silence, no mercy. This ain't some internet warrior. This is one of our own. And the way he's been treated, that's the real story. Let's take a look at what actually went down in the news reports.
because of the extreme pressure that is put on people in workforces in the United Kingdom to bow down to dangerous DEI policies. I am concerned, and I will say the vast majority of the people in the Corps and the armed forces, and probably in all sectors of public life in the United Kingdom, are concerned that this political push will lead to underqualified people being pushed into high-up positions where they could cause injuries and deaths.
Right, so that's the submarine, and that's his problem. He's highlighted an area that he's not happy with. That's what he's pushed out there, all right?
And that's the point. This is what John is saying. This is
You've got to have a look at what the MOD say, all right? You've got to see what the MOD say.
about risking lives.
Yeah.
Now, as I say, I'll read the Ministry of Defence statement in a minute that they gave us last night because that's only fair.
It's fair, of course it's fair, but I think we can guess what the parting line for the MOD is going to be. It's going to be along the lines of standards haven't dropped, etc., etc., etc.
The first line is Royal Marine Commando selection standards have not changed, and the same high standards apply to every
There you go. So we know where we're going with that one, don't we? Straight away.
recruit. What John fears is that is a fair enough statement for the men, but they may lower standards for the women because you know what life is like now. Apparently the military is obsessed.
What is life like now? He just say it, mate. You know how woke we've got now? Do you know what I mean? Just say it, man. Anyway, right, so that's the point, right? Would it be right to lower standards to get somebody across the line? Is the gist of this that I'm getting, right? And no, it wouldn't. Of course it's not. Because if you're lowering the standard to get them across the line at that level, and they're going to stay at that level, then that's fine. But if you lower them across the line at that level and expect them to then operate at that level, doesn't work, does it?
With DEI, John was saying in the interview that the first thing you have to agree to before you get into the military is that you love the idea of DEI.
Yeah, look, if that's the policy, if you're going to have to go with diversity, inclusion and all that sort of stuff, and you know that before you start, that's fine. That ain't a problem to me. I don't care, right? I can live with that. But if that then means that somebody's going to be expected to do something that they are not capable of, then that's where the issue creeps in. Nothing to do with DEI.
British government is currently trying to slander, discredit and defame my little brother, who is
Right, this is Big Brother. And of course he's out there and he's on the warpath. That's his little brother. And of course you would be, wouldn't you?
a Royal Marine Commando simply for opposing something that he felt personally would result in the death of Marines. Now, by making this video and by standing with my little brother, the British
Which he's going to do. He's going to stand with his brother. And fair play to him, to be fair. Do you know what I mean?
government will most likely come for me next. They may have this video removed, they might have both my channels demonetized, and they'll probably try and dig up some dirt to discredit me. I want
Probably that's the tactic, isn't it, nowadays? Do you know what I mean? That's the world we live in.
them to know that there is nothing I won't sacrifice for my family. So with that being
There you go, some good old traditional values there, and rightly so.
said, what's actually happened? My little brother expressed some concerns over dangerous DEI policies within a Corps of Royal Marines, and he made a petition.
And just to make him right there, you should be allowed to express a concern, shouldn't you? All right, that's a fair one, isn't it? Whatever you've signed, all right. If you've got a concern, if you've got a genuine concern, which could end in somebody getting hurt, killed, or worse, do you know what I mean? Can you get worse than getting killed? No, probably not. Anyway, but if you've got a concern, you should be able to air it, shouldn't you? That's a fair one, isn't it?
To express those concerns. 1,000 Royal Marine Commandos signed that petition within 24 hours, and then the petition was taken down and the chain of command circulated messages saying that it was Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation. I mean, they rip it down and blame it on someone else, all right?
It wasn't Russian disinformation, it was my little brother. And
There you go, he's grasped him right up there. It was my brother. Hey, look, eventually he tells him anyway, doesn't he?
1,000 Royal Marine Commandos. So what did the Ministry of Defence decide to do? Well, instead of addressing the problem that all of these Royal Marines Commandos had signed up for, instead what they did is they started a witch hunt to try and locate the individual that started this petition so that they could make their life hell. One of the ways they did that was Marines were literally taken into bright lit rooms and interrogated to try and give up one of their brothers.
I mean, I'm not abreast of all the interrogation tactics used nowadays. That does seem extreme. I wasn't there, do you know what I mean? So I don't know. But that does seem a little bit extreme, that you would sort of like absolutely spotlight somebody and give them a proper interrogation, do you know what I mean? But it's what you're saying, so let's roll with it.
Yet guess what? Nobody gave him up because the boot.
Nobody's gonna give anybody up in the Marine Corps. That's not gonna happen, is it? They are Royal Marines through and through. You're not gonna grasp somebody up, especially not when he's trying to do you a favour, do you know what I mean? Ain't gonna happen, is it?
I've got principle, something the chain of command could take a lesson from. Now, after weeks of intimidation and threats, my little brother began to feel bad for his friends, for the guys around him who were all.
And he fesses up. Which, to be fair, right? He fesses this one up. He sees it's going too far. He sees that, everybody's being punished for something that he's instigated. All right? And he fesses up. Fair play to you, my friend. Fair play to you.
Being threatened and intimidated by the Ministry of Defence, and so he went to his chain of command, put his hand up and said, it was me that started the petition. And so what did they do? Well, they flew him down to the main Ministry of Defence building in London, on the other side of the country, and interrogated him, where they threatened him, his career, and his family. Well, guess what?
I mean, I would like to know what the details of that meeting were. It sounds mega extreme, I'm going to tell you, but, I'm not going to discredit them. I'm not going to say that it's not true because, like I say, I wasn't there. It sounds awful. Do you know what I mean? It does sound awful. It really does.
His family. And I'm going to shine a light on your total abuse of power, you shameful, pitiful, weak cowards. Now, after his first interrogation was
a strong statement there. That's a fact.
over, he then went on holiday with his wife to decompress, but
the leave thing sound. Decompress from what? Is that an admission that we've done something to you, that we have to send you away to decompress?
guess what happens next? He then arrives back into the United Kingdom, where on arrival there's 5 police officers waiting for specifically him. He's then dragged into another interrogation room, this time under the Section 7 Terrorism Act.
I mean, that's insane. That is insane. Which part of this was actually terrorism? That's what I can't work out as well. Which part was actually terrorism? Genuinely, honestly, answers on a postcard, stick them below. If you can identify where the terrorism is in this story, please let me know, because I can't see it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, why?
I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to even start. Talk to me about what's happened.
There you go. It's the man himself. Let's see what he's got to say, right?
Okay. I'm concerned about a particular issue where I work in the Royal Marines. I voiced that concern, and now I'm being treated like a terrorist and a criminal by our...
Right, and that's got to be wrong, isn't it? That has to be wrong. No matter, no matter, it's not right, is it? It's not right.
Political establishment that is coming down on me.
I mean, there'll be two sides to the story, and I'm sure the MOD will respond on this at some stage, but there's nothing really concrete out there at the moment.
And other people that are concerned about this issue like a ton of bricks. I made a survey about a particular issue that Marines are concerned about. That particular issue is that we believe that we have the high standards that we keep, and the high standards that we keep for a very important reason.
We get the high standards thing, right? You have to have high standards. You're not playing at soldiering. Do you know what I mean? It's not an environment where you can just sort of like waver things off or drop standards. You can't do that, right? So I get the concern. I genuinely get the concern.
Which is to prevent Marines from being killed in dangerous situations when we go to war. And we've been told we will go to war very soon. We are concerned that those high standards are being dropped, and selectively dropped for political reasons.
He says he's concerned they haven't actually been dropped yet. That's something else I'm taking away from this, all right? If a woman gets badged as a Royal Marine, and if the standards have been dropped, then we can sort of like look at it from another angle as well, can't we? There'll be an argument to say, well, that hasn't happened yet, and the standards won't be dropped. So the MOD could very well come back with something like, well, no, we won't be dropping standards. The fear is that they will.
Spoken tension of forcing women through Royal Marines training for a political victory lap. Now, everyone talks about this. Everyone in the Royal Marines is concerned about this. Not because we wake up in the morning and want to say anything bad about the other gender, but because everybody knows implicitly in the Royal Marines, if you speak up about this issue, because of the political landscape and who's in political power at the minute, if you speak up about this issue, you will be silenced.
You shouldn't be afraid to voice your opinions. You know, he might very well go in and voice his opinion. And, you know, if they come back with something that's logical, can be understood, verified, proved, etc., then fine. All right, then fine. You'll take the point on board. But that's not happening in this story at the moment.
As I have been silenced. Not only you'll be silenced, but your career will be threatened. Your livelihood will be threatened. Your friends and your family will be threatened. And
I mean, that's awful. If that's the way things are, then that is completely wrong, and we can all see that. And his brother, by the way, is right for shining a light on it.
Not the one. I'm not one to bow down to bullying tactics like that. And it hurts me to see that this issue, which is a very important issue, which if we don't deal with this issue could result in you turning on the news in a few years' time and seeing that Marines or civilians or other people have been injured or killed because standards were lowered for political reasons.
Right. Let's summarise this whole thing here, shall we? This isn't about politics anymore. It's about principle. A Royal Marine raises the alarm, says maybe, just maybe, we're watering down the very standards that keep blokes alive in war zones. And what's the government response? Interrogate him under anti-terror laws, strip him of his clearance, smear his name. They didn't answer the question. They shut down the questioner, and that's what should scare you. Because if an elite commando, someone trusted to protect Trident, for God's sake, gets muzzled for asking about readiness and risk, and no one's safe, 1,000 Royal Marines backed him, that's not fringe, that's not fake news, that's a full-on internal SOS. But the top brass waved it off as Russian disinformation. So now, honest concern gets lumped in with foreign propaganda. That's a tactic, a dirty one, used to shut you up, used to scare others into silence. It tells every other soldier, every patriot, every thinker, you speak out, you're next. But we're not shutting up. Not here, not now. And if this hits you in the gut, like it did me, you know what to do. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check out the membership if you want access to the real stuff we can't always say in public. And I want to hear your thoughts on this, all of them. Down in the comments, you know where, because this just isn't one bloke's story. It's the front line of a much bigger war. I'd also like to get somebody from the MOD to come on here and maybe Submarine or his brother in the same room, and let's have it out properly. And let's lay our cards on the table and let's get to the tactical truth.